Okay, so this is my artifact. For those of you who don't know, it is a cross, and the cross represents Jesus on his crucifixion. And I am of the Catholic religion. I was baptized a Catholic. I attended Catholic school. My mother's Catholic. Her entire family's Catholic. It if if you're Catholic and you're also Italian, you understand how closely those tie in together. And being Catholic is not just a religion, it's kind of part of Italian culture. And it sounds strange for me to say that, but growing up Italian and Catholic, I can say that the both of those things are very intertwined. Everything revolves around Catholicism and everything revolved around being Italian. Getting together, having family meals, always saying prayers and grace, and just embracing religion and family. So, this is important to my family because as a teenager, I worked in an assisted living facility, and there was a very kind elderly gentleman who was of Italian descent, and he was very Italian and very proud. His name was Frank. I'm not going to say his last name, but he actually made these. He carved them by hand back in Italy. I don't remember if he was living there or if he was visiting, but he had them blessed by a Catholic priest. And then he put these little strings on them so you could wear them as a necklace. And I believe I was young. I was about 12, and I know I said I worked at the assisted living facility, but really my mom did. She was the director of nursing since I was a young kid. And so this was given to her. And so I would go in and visit with the residents because I like to hear their stories. So this was given to our family essentially by Frank. And I kept it in my car. I hung it on my rear view mirror, and it has been with me wherever I have gone. And it wasn't in my family when I was born into the family, but it is very important because it was blessed in Italy by an Italian priest. And so my mother and I have always loved it. And it's just, I am 32, so 20 years later, here I am, and I still have it. And I will always hold on to it because it is very important to me. And the Catholic faith and being Italian is very important to my family. So I feel that others would respond to my artifact with respect because it's just a dainty little cross, and it just symbolizes, the sacrifices that Jesus made. And I understand that not everybody might, you know, um, even believe in Jesus or the Catholic religion, but it's not an offensive artifact. It's not confusing. It's just simple. It is what it is. It's just a cross, and it's a symbol. It's a symbol for Catholicism, and it's a symbol for my Italian heritage because of where it comes from. Um, this has shaped me becoming a professional counselor. How has this artifact shaped me? Hmm, I guess I want to say going into counseling, it makes you think thoroughly about things, and this really has me thinking about how others would perceive it. So as a counselor, you really have to think about others. And, you know, back to being Italian, and I will reference Palmisano 2024. He talks a lot about how Italians and Catholics, the identity ties into one. And then also in Hayes 2016, cultural competence, they talk a lot about how different cultures and I'm sorry, they talk a lot about how different cultures and religions can cross and tie into each other. And so again, I mentioned this earlier, but I feel like being Italian and Catholic is is an identity. And I know religion is part of an identity, but there are some people that identify as Italian Catholic, Roman Catholic, and they aren't actually religious or they don't actually follow Catholicism, but it's just part of the Italian heritage. And it's, Italy is one of the most historically Catholic places in the world where Catholicism was born. And people today, even if they don't go to church, if they don't pray, if they don't practice, I know a lot of people who are Italian Catholics and they don't necessarily follow their religion, but it's part of their identity because they're Catholic. So, yeah, that is everything about my little Italian artifact. And yeah, it's very meaningful to me. And I can't wait one day to hang it up in my office. And if anybody asks, I would love to share and tell them about it.